Welcome back to Diecast Resurrection. Today we are working on this beautiful little wagon we got here. Now I really like this wagon. I think it's got a lot of style. And this is called an 8 crate. And I believe it's referring to this mid-engine that we got going on here. We got 8 in the crate, boy. Check it out. So this is a kind of an interesting model, where it's a mid-engine wagon. I like the concept. I'm going to keep the motor in the back there, but I am going to do something a little bit different with the top of this glass, I think. But other than that, a nice set of wheels and a nice classic style paint job. I kind of want to do a two-tone. I was thinking color on the bottom and then white. And then there's a little bit more color on the roof. It'll kind of have like a Bel Air vibe. I think we're going to do that today. We'll just style this thing up a little bit. Beautiful. That was a perfect drill. I like it when they go nice and smooth like that. So then this should just pop off beautifully. This one's tight. Hell yeah, look at that. It's all one piece. What a cool unit. She's tubbed out. Click, 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 click. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do with this glass actually. So I think what I'm going to do on here is we're going to paint this top area gloss white so it actually looks like a metal roof again. I'm going to leave the intake, obviously, because I'm okay with the engine being in the back. I definitely don't want to cut the engine out of the interior and have a big hole because you can kind of see in there. So I'm going to just leave that part alone, but I do want to paint this top so it doesn't look so out of place like that. Alright, so I gotta figure out some wheels for this project and get the paint stripped off here. So I put this in my little jar of stripper. There's probably about a tablespoon left in there, but that has enough vapors to still strip these cars, so that's pretty crazy. I think I've been kind of wasteful. I've been worried about how clean that stuff looked on camera. So I went through that can a little bit quicker than I should have, so I know better for next time. It's a little expensive, about $90 a can, so... But yeah, it just peels. Just strips clean. All right, let me go give this a quick scrub with a wire brush and some soapy water and I'll be right back. Boy, that's a nice casting. Look at that thing. So at first I wanted to use these wheels. I don't know if they're going to be too big. Probably too big for this front end. Try to free up a little real estate in here and we'll give it a try, I guess. Boy, this thing's a little tricky to get together, apparently. It's like a Chinese puzzle back here. There we go. Well, they're definitely big enough. The back's actually, like, tubbed out. Like, for real. Like, tubbed. Front, you know, I could probably even get it in there, and I even think it'll rotate. I think we're gonna make it work. I think it'd look real schmexy. Sweet, so I'll give that a try. See if I can't fit those in there. It's cool, because I've been waiting for a project for these. They've just been a little bit too big for everything. These look like M2s, but they're a knockoff. Really tough to get these wheels off these axles. You see these shafts are all bent up, so I gotta find some different axles to use. Looks like I'm gonna use green light axles this time. So that seems to be fitting nice and snug. A little bit of glue would just help them along. So if you ever have these kind of axles like this where you like literally bend the shafts trying to get them out, usually a little bit of heat helps release these things. So I'll show you what I do. Normally, this, I don't know why I reefed on this so hard, but so the way I get the heat on there is I'm going to use my little Dremel cutting disc and I'm just going to cut on the shaft right next to the wheel, but I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm just going to do that until it gets hot and then I'm just going to pull that axle out. It's a little trick I've been using for a little while, so let's try it out here. Did that with just my fingers, live. So now I'll be able to just replace with these shafts and we'll be on our way. Glee, 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 glee. Pimp, I'm glad I got those to fit. I love the stance. This is going to be a real nice car when we're done. Got these axle tubes in there. Everything's fitting real nice with the interior. So that's pimp. We can start talking about some paint now, I think. Initially, what got me into this project, again, was Instagram. And that's usually where most of my project ideas come from. This is pretty much what I had in mind. I even like that it has this panel on the roof where it's a different color, so that kind of works for us. So I think I want to kind of do a copy of this paint job with this kind of creamy yellow and some white. We already got the big rims. So that's the plan. If we got this on the bench when we're done today, I'll be happy. But it's got to be nice and glossy and beautiful. So that's what we're going for. So maybe let's try mix up a little paint here. Hard for you guys to see, but I think we're going to be there with this last drop of white. It's almost the same color as that Project X, the Chevy 210 I did back in the day. There. Perfect. We're done. That's a nice creamy yellow. So, for this paint job, I think the easiest approach is going to be we'll paint the whole thing white. I'll probably just do some taping and then I'll spray on some yellow and then we'll clear coat the whole thing. I don't think I need an intermittent clear coat this time. Since I'm just doing yellow on top of white, we shouldn't have any problems with bleeding or anything. So I think we'll just give it a shot. Just make sure everything's nicely scuffed so we get a real nice bite on our base coat. I'm going to go give this one final good degreasing, and I'll meet you in the spray booth and we'll lay down some white. Okay. Alright, here's our little Ford. We'll just get her up on the old stand here. I have to turn my ISO down so we can actually see what we're doing here. Let me get my tape. I guess we could just... It'll be fine. Something like that. I've got our little Ford Ranch all taped up here. I'm ready to go do the yellow we mixed up earlier. So let us go ahead to the spray booth and we'll get this sprayed. Gleek, 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 gleek. Pimp. Sorry about the darkness. It's just tough to film the wet, okay? I'm struggling here. Well, hell yeah, that's starting to look like something. Sweet. It looks real good. I even like how creamy the yellow looks. So I think that is the look I wanted to achieve. Initially when I started this project, I wanted to sand the paint off of this trim and make like real metal trim, but I'm too scared to do it now. That all has to do with how well this paint sands. This paint doesn't really have a lot of enamel properties, so it doesn't sand really nice. You can scuff it, but I'm worried about sanding through it. There's going to be like a bumpy edge, I believe, even though I use like 2000. It's just the properties of this paint. So I did it one time on a project I did back in the day when I was doing a video with bare metal. And it worked out all right for that one, but I'm just too scared to do it with this one. Because if it doesn't work out, I mean, I gotta start over at that point. So I'm just too scared to do it for this. So I'm just gonna tap out, and we're gonna just tape them. When I do risky stuff like that, that's when all of a sudden, you know, you guys don't get a video. Apologies for not being bold. Alright, I got one side masked successfully. So I'm going to do the other side. A little bit tricky because the chrome comes up on top of the fender here. So that's a little bit of a weird transition, both for painting and for style. I mean, like a 1956 Ranch Wagon. Not the coolest looking wagon you can get. It looks cool in that one picture I showed you. But that's after looking at like 50 other pictures where it wasn't very cool. These things were kind of nerdy. Well, we're going to do our best to try to make this thing sweet. We will just force the tape around the corner. The camera is bouncing off my face. That's my nose. That'll work. Not the easiest thing in the world doing all this little taping on these cars, but I'm getting used to it. You guys can probably see it in the videos too. Everything's coming a little bit easier these days. It used to be a struggle, man. Believe me, there was a big time struggle. And we'll drop a little triangle right here. Boop. This is probably pretty obvious for a lot of you guys. But I just throw a little piece of tape on my mat and I'll just kind of cut out the general shape I need. Like that. And then I'll just come in with my little triangle and put it where I need it. Where back in the day I might have tried to just kind of cut this with my knife to get a nice crispy edge, but a lot of the times that'll just mess up what you're doing, not this scale, so that's looking real good, man. We pretty much got this trim isolated. Alright, I got our trim taped off, ready to go spray. I'll probably give this one good look over, make sure I don't have any lifted seams, and we'll just go ahead and we're going to hit that with a little bit of Quicksilver Chrome by Createx. So I'll meet you in the spray booth right now and we will get this done. Let's have a look-see here. That Quicksilver by Createx, that paint goes on so nice. However, it needs a whole ton of air to go on. You cannot do any kind of a wet coat with this Quicksilver stuff. I know on my front right fender, I got a little extra burp out of the airbrush. So I am concerned. But we'll have a look. Oh, beautiful trim, eh? Oh. Nice job. Perfect. No problem. Sweet. That turned out really nice. Kind of a weird transition on the hood, eh? You seeing this? Let me block some of this light. It's the way the chrome goes up there. Well, that looks real good. I'm super happy with that. So now, I guess we can clamp this thing back in. Very nice. I chromed up our windshield wiper blades there a little bit too. So this is going to be a pretty good looking ride if we can get this top taken care of. If you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I wanted to paint the top of this so it's actually like a roof. Got to scuff this up a little bit. Probably all we need. I didn't hurt the sides or the back or anything. It's all nicely done. So I'm gonna just go give this a quick degrease. Let me head to the booth right now and I'm gonna go take care of this, and then all I have left to do really is dab some red on the tail lights of the body, and we can do a final clear coat and assembly. Just ready to do an assembly here. I put this part back in while it was still wet, so I got a real perfect seal. Yes. Hell yeah, boy. Look at that thing. Woo. Beautiful. Let me get it up on the rotisserie. So I got the little car and rotisserie here inside my light box. So let me know if you guys like this kind of reveal better. I think the lighting is a lot more appropriate for stuff like this, but let me know what you're thinking. We can definitely do our reveals like this from now on. You get a better idea of what the kind of colors are and the light is now, right? It's not so, everything isn't so blasted out from my studio lights. So if you guys like this better, please let me know. Mention in the comments. Leave a like. Do whatever you gotta do. I think the old ranch wagon here is looking pretty good. I love the classic vibe on this. A big thank you to Mick Squeaky and his family for sending this in. This is another one of, he sent in a whole ton of wagons, and this is one of them, so namaste. Thank you for that. I think this thing turned out pretty good. I wouldn't mind getting a couple more of these and doing a few different colors. Maybe do a little candy with the white. You know, there's options here. There's options here, folks. Check out my new Patreon page. I'm going to start posting content on there, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. There's a little chat room in there where we can kind of get to know each other better. And I believe you guys can even post pictures for me to see there as well. Yeah, if you're interested in helping out the channel, that's definitely one way to do it. I have many donor cars right now, so I haven't really been accepting car donations for a while because I just have too many to go through. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the comments. Take care, guys. That's a nice looking wagon, boy.